Dear Mr. President, when I stepped into the voting booth to vote for you, Mr. President, when I said for better or worse till death do us part, I didn't mean it literally. Call this deliberately but culturally, this wasn't supposed to be for eternity. You see, Mr. President, when we stepped into the ring, I didn't expect the first strike. Still preoccupied by the possibility of being glorified by family and friends nationwide, I just didn't know you could move like Mike. Now looking back, when the man of God said, "You may now kiss your bride," just like Christ, I didn't know it was the beginning of my Marikana massacre. Just because you lost hope, now I'm in this ring with my back against the rope. Oh, and who will forget that beautiful fatal day when you really stepped up to the podium to do your State of the Nation cliche. I can still hear my little girl's voice, "Don't worry, mommy, I am here to pray." Her voice echoes off into the night, praying, "Our Father who is about to kill our mother, Mr. President, be thy name. His kingdom come with effective striking, grabbing, and an overall mindset to slain with knockout kicks to the head and to the brain. His will be done. This is his house. We have nowhere to run. He has given us this day his daily bread, and I never thought a knife could go through someone's head." I could still hear her pray, "Lord, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive him who is now trespassing against us, his family." And as for me, as confusion and disorientation is at the order of the day, I could feel I no longer have the physical power to just push you away. I just have to walk my Via della Rosa. Let me just stop for a moment and say, "Sorry, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, I am not talking to you. I am talking to my husband, my Mr. President. My gasping and death-rolling sounds fill the air. You are my husband. How could you? How could you dare?" And as death came closer, I could feel that my heart wanted to resist death. But my body was ready. And so because of you, Mr. President, I gave my last breath. Sincerely yours, your wife from a grave, R.I.P.
I have my friend, my brother, my pastor, my pastor in dance and creative arts and all that, yes. Mr. Leonardo Marais. Hallelujah. All the way from, tell us who Leonardo is.
Wow, waar begin ek? My heel eerste, Leonardo Marais, little boy from Cape Town, Tilbag, on the Boland, down in Cape Town. Very beautiful place. But I grew up in Cape Town. So yes, artist, choreographer,
family man,
married.
Yes.
So yes, that's who I am.
Awesome. I met you when I came in 2015. I met you in Randfontein, and I heard that you have been here already for about 8 or something years.
By that time when I met you, it was already about 8 years. But it also, the way it happened, it was, I do believe that God was specifically in this, and it was a divine appointment for me to come to Johannesburg. Being down in Cape Town, my life was almost like on a pause, or like nothing is really happening. And yes, I got an opportunity to come to Johannesburg, and I took it with both ends. I came with a bus.
Okay.
And I've never drove so far in my life. It was
all the way across the country.
In Cape Town, we have this thing about Johannesburg, die strate van goud, the streets of gold.
Yes.
And when I got here, there was no gold.
Totally different.
There's
no
So,
gold.
yeah,
Aye,
that's-
only gold in the teeth of people
Yes,
from
yes.
El Dorado Park. sorry. Sorry, all those people. Yeah, but you know, since the moment I met you, I met your crew when you still had the dance crew.
Braxton Kinetic.
Yes. You inspired me so much, and I also tried to involve you in what I was doing with the youth.
Yes.
And I always ask you to come, because you have such a nice way, a different way of bringing across a message. You understand? Especially, I remember the night I invited you to come preach
Yes,
at a youth
nearby.
conference, and people didn't expect what you were doing. People didn't expect. I don't know if I still have that footage. I'll see if I can share it.
Yeah, you should look for it.
Yeah, no, my bro, that was
Where I-
amazing. That was
where I
something else.
Dressed up as a boomala.
Yes, as a street guy, and then you
street
came
guy
with your
I had
and
food in my
food in your
hand
hands and all that.
everything, and I was sitting there with a blanket.
Yes.
But I was actually the speaker. of the
Yeah,
night.
it was, and something that stood out for me, and I think it also touched a lot of our young girls, where you made an example and said that you are the bread. Everybody's
Yes.
taking
Yeah.
something of this bread, but nobody wants you.
Yeah, it's when the guys get together and they make a buff, as we
Yeah.
call it. And then you have your pak slap chips.
Yes,
And your white bread.
and all the hands are in
All the
there.
hands is in there, but everybody is touching the crush of the bread, but nobody's taking it.
Wow, my
And
bro.
so I made an example to say that women
Yes.
shouldn't be like that. That
Yes.
everybody come and they do their thing with her,
yeah,
but nobody
yeah.
takes it to be the wife,
I know, my bro.
the mother of the children. Nobody takes her. So I just made that example. not
That
to
was
be
deep. That was deep.
Yeah.
And what I like about you is the realness. You are so real, because you also have a background. You also have a
Yes,
place where you come from. Something that happened. Things that happened to you as a child. The
Yes.
abuse that you saw happening in your
Yes,
house, and all that. So that's the reason why we are here. You recently released a video where you have a poem about Mr. President. And
Yes,
when people saw it, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to play it also on this clip here. But go and follow Leonardo Marais
On Facebook,
on
yes.
Facebook, and you'll see the original one that
Yes.
he shared. And when you spoke about Dear Mr. President, I thought, is this about the government, preparing graves for us?
Yeah.
What's happening here? What's the concept? And you got me the moment you say, "Sorry, Mr. President, I'm not talking to you."
Yes.
That's when I was like, "Oh!" I said, "Yo!" And I had to call you. I said, "My bro, we need to share this to
Yes.
more of my followers, the 25 people that follow me,
Yes, yes.
as well." You understand? Tell us about that, because it is about a letter from a dead woman
Yes.
to the abusive husband.
Yes.
Ooh,
It is.
my bro.
It is something totally different.
Yo.
I wrote this poem with a couple of backdrops.
Okay.
So we thinking that I'm writing a letter to the president specifically. It's not that.
Yes.
That is only one backdrop of what is actually happening.
Sure.
Within the poem, the Lord's Prayer is also in the poem,
I
but it's
heard
only the backdrop
Yeah.
of what is actually happening. And it's my creative way of bringing over this whole gender-based violence that is happening in South Africa.
Yes.
Like within the newspaper, our local, The Herald, there's an article, for example, where within the first 3 weeks of the lockdown, with the whole COVID-19 thing that is happening around the world, within the first 3 weeks, more than 120,000 people called the helpline when it comes to gender-based violence. Wow. I think it's over 2,000 cases that was opened.
Wow.
Only in that period, in the first week of lockdown. And obviously our women and our children is dying in this time. And it's unfortunately that I grew up in an abusive house.
Yes, yes.
And till this day, I really can't stand a man that is lifting his hand for a woman. And this gender-based violence is really just taking over South Africa, and it's really on my heart to say, but you cannot do this. You were created by God as the man of the house, and as the Bible says, the head of the house.
Yeah.
You were not created to to break down the weaker vessel.
Yes.
So from that perspective, I said that I have to do something. And I see that you're holding a pen in your hand. A lot of times people want to go out into the streets and they want to burn tires and they want to do this and they want to do this physically. You can also just take just taking a pen.
Yeah.
That poem that you write or that letter that you write, that can also go out into the streets. For example, on Facebook, on that my first video, I got 1,000 views on that first video, on my first poem that I wrote. And then now the second one, 600. That is classified as an audience, Mr. Brian.
That's true.
That is classified as an audience. So that is the amount of people that have listened to your poem, to what you are saying about gender-based violence. And it's a different way to approach this problem that we are having.
That's exactly a different way.
And so that is why I wrote the poem. So, for example, I start off, but this is a couple that got married. So there's a part where she say, when I stepped into the ring, I didn't expect the first strike. Now, against the backdrop, we know with our president, there's a couple of controversies and stuff that happened, and with the Marikana thing that happened. Did you know that our president's first wife, I think it was the first wife, her name was Hope. So within my poem, I say, just because you lost hope, now I'm in this ring with my back against the rope. But I'm talking, it's an Afrikaans it's double sinner. So I'm talking to the president.
That's actually the essence of poetry.
Yes. So I'm talking, but no, she's talking about her husband. And her name for him was Mr. President. You understand?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm talking about Mr. Our president.
The way you merged it, the way you put it together. As I said, I had to wake up in the middle of your poem, whereby I understand. Oh, it's not about this; it's about that. It's just amazing how you put it, and even the way you did it. I think it also worked in this time because a lot of people wanted to hear what you have to say about the president.
Yeah.
Based on his decisions with the COVID-19 situation in the economy. A lot of people are now angry because of a lot of decisions that he is making. In the beginning, it was like, oh, we see the pressure, Mr. President, we're praying for you. But now it's too much now. Yes. Now a lot of people are losing money. So I think that's what drew a lot of people, maybe. They were like, okay, let's hear what he has to say about the president. But then the plot twist, the whole vibe thing, that's really amazing, man. Yes. You need to be gifted to do that, to be able to do that. You understand?
Yes.
You said something about, I never knew that you hit like Mike.
Yes, yes, because
and all that.
Like she got into, they got married, and when I stepped up to the podium to vote, when I stepped up to the voting booth to vote for you, when I said for better or worse till death do us part.
Wow!
I didn't mean it literally.
Just hear that. Just hear that.
Yeah, I didn't mean it literally.
That's
because
amazing.
Now she's in a grave, and the whole poem go. But by the end of it, it was actually a letter from the grave of this wife that was killed by her husband because he lost hope. And I think that is the problem of South Africa today, Mr. Brian. The problem is that the men of our country have lost hope. There's this whole thing that more women are moving into jobs, more women are becoming this, more women becoming that.
Making their own money.
And
all that.
In the morning, the husband and the wife, they walk to the bus stop. Unfortunately, it's the wife that gets into the bus. And the man have to turn back. En jy gaan sit op die hoek of langs die huis in die son in.
Yes.
Because I'm losing hope. I'm not bringing any money into the house. And unfortunately, he maneuvers that power into abusing his wife. The one who's actually bringing in more money now than him. And it is something that we have to look into to say, but what can we do to help?
Yeah.
And I think it's on television. There's this ad now that men should be brave enough to step up and say, listen, I have a problem. Because I don't have a job, I started drinking. Or I started using drugs. And now, first help me with this problem. But the actual problem is my pride, my dignity.
Yes.
That is... Government have taken that away from me, or my company have taken that away from me. You understand? So that is why I wrote this poem, to say that this is what is happening. That our men are busy to lose hope within our country, and therefore crime will just go up.
It will,
Gender-based violence will just go up, and
Sad.
unfortunately, and there's a reason why I specifically said, "Dear Mr. President," I feel there's one person that can stop this with immediate effect. Just like he said, remember?
That statement.
He's the actual person. I feel that our president of the country have the power to stop gender-based violence.
Sure.
To an extent where the justice system just step in and they really start to look at this thing and really start doing something about it. You understand? I feel they have the power. He have the power.
Sure.
But still, I'm saying that, but I still believe that the husbands, the married men of our society, I still feel they are the people that can make a difference.
Exactly.
Because you are married, Brian. If you can be an example to our young people of today, that is what they will follow.
Yeah.
But if you are the opposite of anything negative, they're gonna be what you bring forth.
Yeah, true.
Because you are the example for our young people as a married man. When you are married at 25, 26, I feel that is so if the men of South Africa can take in their rightful place again, I feel that the gender-based violence and all of those things, the murders on women, the father of the house or the husbands of our society must really step up and say, enough is enough. You cannot do this anymore. So that is why I'm writing this. I wrote this specific poem. So yes, I will. There's a couple of them that is coming still. So
you can't stop now. You need to continue.
No, this is the idea.
Do you think it's the maybe our culture as Africans or South Africans? Because I know that it's the submission with a woman. Do you think men get frustrated based on the fact that my father taught me that a wife shouldn't do 1, 2, 3? Do you think it might be that, since you mentioned something about it starts with us? Can we maybe encourage young men out there and say, okay, don't be too harsh on that level of your culture, or if it is that, what can you say about that?
Within the poem, I say there's something I say. For example, she says that culturally, this wasn't supposed to be for eternity. So culture and religion plays a very big role when it comes to how society lives itself out. It is culture that make a decision on a lot of things, but it's also religion that make a decision on a lot of things. For example, just a verse in the Bible that says the man is the head of the house. He's the founder of a lifestyle in the house. So just because of that, a lot of men will feel that you're not going to tell me in my house. So from that perspective, but then we can go culturally. From a cultural perspective, there are certain things that a man can do that a woman can't do in certain cultures. And I mean, we can go into our own culture as colored people, there are certain things. As black men, there are certain things. As Indian men, there are certain things. So from that perspective, religion and culture will always be there and it will always be part of society. But it is within those boundaries that we have to find a balance. We have to be able to find a balance in what is right and what is wrong. Yes, we can live out our cultures and our religion. But by the end of the day, if my religion violates the right of a woman, then something is wrong about it. If culture violates the right of a woman to an extent where I have to kill her, then what about the other verses that say a man shall not kill? What about all of that within the Bible, for example? So from that perspective, I say that yes, culture and religion will always play a big role within our community, but there's a boundary. And if you have lost your self identity as a man, if you have lost your assertiveness,
Yeah.
if you have lost your self-esteem as a man, it is extremely difficult. And we understand that.
Yes.
It's extremely difficult to understand what it is. What is that thing called boundary? Because a woman have a boundary. There's certain things, culture have a boundary. Religion have a boundary. You can go this far but not further. And that is why I feel that the men of our society, they can make the difference.
Yes.
Because a lot of this cultures and a lot of this religion is mostly played out by our husbands and our fathers of our society.
Yeah.
And I feel they are the great examples that can make a difference within the life of young people. Because anybody needs a leader, you need a mentor, jy moet 'n mentor om jou te lei deur die lewe. So on that side of it, I do believe that if we can be that example to young people, then life will come out different within society. But now lately, you're not gonna, as a father, you're not gonna tell my son how to live his life, and my son is gonna tell you, I'm gonna go, ek gaan my pa gaan roep vir jou, baba.
Yeah.
And then I come there because I pick up weights daar by die gym. Dan kom ek, and then I show you waar drink jy gaan se water. What happened to this whole thing? Your child is my child.
That changed a lot.
Ubuntu, you know, all of that. What happened to it?
Yeah.
And in today's life, unfortunately, it has changed. I feel the motivation that you're talking about lies with our fathers and with the husbands of our society. They can make the difference.
Exactly. And while you're talking now, it also reminds me of a part that I saw. I think it's a video that I saw that somebody said, but these people don't know what this woman does, you know, what they do to men. And especially when you talked about self-esteem of a man. Imagine if a woman comes down on you and say, you're slecht. You're just like your drunk father. Look at you. But, you know, we don't know what happens before the incident, before the helpline call.
Yes.
You understand? And when we go back to it as the system, we always just look at a man hit a woman and it needs to stop. We don't know where it started and all that. And with that said, I think what you are saying about, you know, how to at least create a balance within your culture and all that, I know they are provoking.
Yes.
They can be provocative in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But at least, you know, find it in your heart to be strong enough to walk away rather.
Yes.
You understand? It's really important to that. I remember when this was a whole thing of the American guy, George Floyd, that was killed by the policeman.
And Black Lives Matter thing.
And everybody was saying, and I heard a story about that they're gonna cut the costs on the police so that they don't have the luxury anymore and all that. And I said there, and I told somebody, you know what, I think the software needs to be changed instead of the outside. It doesn't matter how much you cut them from their you know, where they're gonna drive to. They don't need to be at schools. They don't need to patrol in unnecessary places. There's still gonna be that thing, whether it's on a lower scale. It's still going to happen. You need to change the mindset. It starts on the inside, and I think that's the same with our brothers out there.
I think within life we will forever, toxic chemicals will be around forever.
Yes.
There are women that we will classify as toxic. That don't know how to speak to a man, where that cultural boundary is crossed, where that spiritual or religious boundary is crossed. So that will forever be there. But then, like you said, he must be able to be man enough to say, but this is not for me. Then I have to move out and work from the outside in. Because if as a man, this woman is going to cause me now to lose my sanity, if they can say it, and then I'm going to lift my hand to this, and this is not how I was raised as a man. So he must be able to have that power to say, then I rather work from outside in and still support my children, still be there for my children, but this thing between us is not working out. I feel then rather walk away. Walk out of it so that you can fix it, but not until you have tried everything, of course, like counseling, all of those things. You try all of that, and if the conclusion is, but this woman is toxic and it's gonna cause me to go into a state where I will be classified by society as an abuser, then I'd rather walk out of this till everything is sorted out. And then, so unfortunately, that's gonna be there forever.
True.
That's gonna be there
True.
forever.
It's gonna be there. And marriage or relationships are such a risk. Anything in life is a risk. I mean, we are both married sitting here now.
Yes.
You don't know if your wife is going to change against you tomorrow.
Yes. You don't.
It's a risk.
It's a risk.
That's what life is. We do it with the hopes that things will just get better. But we don't know. And if it doesn't work out the way you planned it to happen, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
It's
it doesn't
not the
mean
end of the world,
you need to be violent about it to prove your point. You understand? I think that's what we need to also get in our skulls.
Mr. Brian, there's a song that goes, love conquers everything. So, if that is the case, I do believe no matter what will come your way, as a man, as a husband, if you love this woman, if you can get it in your heart to love her more, I do believe that love will conquer that. Whatever that thing is that is standing between the two of you, I do believe that there are people who are married for 53 years, 57 years, 40 years, 30 years. How did they get it right? How are they getting it right? In today's life, our young people can't even go that far.
Sure.
It only ends, in most cases, it ends with gender-based violence.
53 months.
53 months and that's it. And in the first 2 months, the baby was there anyway. So there's a lot of things that our young people are not doing the way they're supposed to do it. And I think we can learn from our, ek wil nou nie in Afrikaans sê ons voorvaders nie, maar van ons groot mense af kan ons leer. We can learn from them to how to really love your woman. And I think when you, that once in a while, when you buy the flowers, when you cook for her, and when you do all of those nice things, man, that is what keeps the spark alive within your relationship, within your marriage, within your household. And Satan will try to come in and try to break all of that. But if love is there, and God is love, it means that if God is there, so if love is there, it means that God is there. So how can Satan get it right for the husband to turn into this monster of gender-based violence, a guy that is beating up his wife? If God is there, no. Good and evil can't live together in one house. So therefore, I still do believe that love will conquer all of this. And it comes down to the head of the house, as we can call it, the father,
Mr. President.
Yeah, the president of the house. He's the person that will be able to lead them where they are supposed to be. And I'm talking about financially, physically, mentally. The father can, or the president can dictate and decide what type of books my children will read, to what school they go to. That is a job of a government. You understand? So he have that in his power, and the way the child turn out, I feel a lot of it is got to do with how my father was involved in my life.
That's true.
So
that's true. And these kids are watching us. They are watching us. I'm telling you. I will never forget this. One day, my son, we were driving from a shop, and then I just did something, and he just asked me out of the blue, out of nowhere, Daddy, who taught you how to be a father?
That's amazing.
And I almost cried. No, he's sitting at the back. I'm sitting here, and I'm like. And I don't know how to answer. I don't know what to really say. And I can't remember what I even said. I can't even think of it now. But that moment right there is when I saw that they are watching. They are seeing how you do it. I mean, how does he know what the father should do to ask me that question in the first place? Like, he already summed it up in his mind. Like, this is what a father should do. And now he sees me doing it, and he says, who taught you to be a father? To be such a great father that you understand. So our brothers out there, I know it's difficult, I know it's hard, but you need to also have a plan for your life, for your family. Have a plan, even though you make less money than your wife or your girlfriend. Try and create that trust, whereby she will know that, like for example, there was a time when I got less than my wife. She was working at the bank, but she was depending on me to give her transport money every day, lunch money every day, because I had a small barber shop.
Yep.
So just those small things. You don't have to have the big car to be able to say now she's going to respect me.
Yep.
No, respect doesn't start there. You understand? So I think that's what we should learn out of this thing.
I spoke about this little girl that actually prayed the Our Father, who was about to kill our mother. So the whole murder that took place, unfortunately, happened in front of this little girl.
Sure.
And it is ironic how you ask that specifically, because or your son asked you, who taught you to be a father?
Sure.
And I normally say this whenever I speak about fatherhood. I normally say this, and I got this from a guy with the name of Zayn Mias.
Yes.
He's my leader. He's in my life, and but when he speak about that specifically, like there is no script when it comes to a father. There is when you go on Seven Delano, any set, they give you the moves.
Yeah.
They give you the words.
Yeah.
They give you everything that you need.
Yeah.
They give you the attire. When you became a father, there was no script. There were no moves. There were no attire
or practice run.
Practice run.
Just try for 3 years and see if you can do it.
None of that. None of that. But you just needed to go into this thing. I'm a father now, and I will make up the makeup as things go along.
Yeah.
I will make up the attire as things go.
Wow.
What my children will wear. How my children will carry themselves.
Yeah.
As a father, I will make all of that up. How they will move will be determined by me as a father.
Sure.
And then eventually when they look back, they will have a script to say, oh, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And they will say, okay, but my father moved like this.
Yeah.
My father, the makeup was like this.
Yeah.
The attire was like this. And now as a man, I can also do this. But once again, he becomes a father and then he don't know. He only have an idea of how to be a father like his father. And that's why I'm saying that all of this, gender-based violence and all of that, hulle het iewers gesien. Hy het iewers gesien. And because of that,
whether it was in the house or neighbor,
in the house or outside, so the father still, he had the possibility or the capabilities of to stop that, to say no, that's not how we operate as a family. That's not how we operate. You see, Uncle Neighbor is hitting his wife. That's not how we operate. And come to think of it, I'm a member of this community. I'm gonna go and stop him now.
Yeah.
So that son of him will turn back and say, but this is not how we do things.
This is not how we do things.
You understand? So,
but because most cases the son will go to school and they will talk about it,
yes,
and then the friends will say, yeah, if they don't listen, you must do that. And now it becomes like, oh, it's part of life. It's supposed to be like that, and that's the situation.